Thanks for coming on, John. This is the Billy Moore podcast with John.
Thanks for having me, Bill.
Thanks for coming along, John. How are you?
I'm alright.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good actually, yeah.
Sounds. So, anyway, let's start from the beginning. Tell me how things are with you at the minute.
In my life?
Yeah.
Yeah, things are good. Things are alright. Yeah, everything's positive. You know, obviously after, you know, we're in a pandemic and like everything at the start of March seemed quite daunting.
Yeah.
Everything was going to change, but I don't know. You know, I've been doing these videos and, you know, I like to, you know, I've been really creative. I've made the most of lockdown, I'd like to think. And, you know, it's sort of, it's getting a big following now and hopefully it's going to create an open avenues for me. So, as bad as the lockdown was, and, you know, we'll look like we're going to go into another one. By the time this goes out, we're probably in it. But, yeah, I like to think I made the most of it. And I've took positive out of it. You know, and hopefully it might spin my life in a different direction. It's not all doom and gloom. Personally, it's not.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Well, I've known you for a few years now, John. I'm privileged as well to call you a friend. Know what I mean? Yeah. In fact, I was one of your tutors. Was I a tutor?
Were you one of my students?
I was one of your students.
Yes.
Yeah. I tried me interacting for a little bit, and you know what, John? I found you very creative, very approachable, very likeable.
Yeah.
And ever since we've maintained that friendship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When you first come in a coffee shop 2 years ago, like people were like, you know that fella, do you? And I was like, yeah. He was like, you go to film about him. I was like, no way. And that's how I sort of, like, so I was intrigued who he was, and then, yeah, become friends, man.
That's how it should be, mate. So, to be honest, this is like a pretty new at this kind of stuff, guys. So bear with me and yourself, John. There's a few IT problems at the minute, but we're ironing them out as it happens. And I hope this is my third one today, and I hope the two that I've done prior to this,
I'm sure they'll be fine.
I've recorded. That's got me baffled. Like,
I'm sure it'll be fine.
How all this works.
I do that all the time. It'll be alright.
So, John, tell me a little bit about yourself. Your acting career, growing up, where you from?
I'm from Walton, sunny Walton, yeah. County Road, the bright lights of County Road. And I opened a barber's about 15 years ago, Sweeps.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm one of 5 kids. I've got 3 older brothers, and then my mum got pregnant again. Found out a week before she was having a baby that she was having twins. So she got a girl. She got the girl she must have always wanted. And a spare boy. That's me. So I'm the youngest of 5. So growing up, I had 3 older brothers and a sister. Yeah. So I fucking got it, Bill, do you know what I mean? She got away with absolute murder. So I always got her fucking hiding. But, well, yeah, I did. But, so yeah, so growing up, blah, 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 I was always a little cheeky chappy. I think in such a big family, I think like you come up with your ways to be noticed. So instead, I wasn't naughty, I was likeable. Do you know what I mean? I weren't a little shit. Yeah. And I think in being in a big family, you've got to find ways to get your attention. I think I used to just do accents and be funny, and that was the way I sort of got noticed. So I think now that I'm like nearly 40, I'm putting all that education, you know, into some use, hopefully.
So where did all this acting begin? You know, like, why did you want to become an actor?
I opened a barber's 15 years ago. I tried all different jobs, blah, blah, blah. And I was becoming a bit of a loser, Bill. I was trying, all my family are builders, so I was trying this, trying that. My mum and dad had a pub, and I grew up in a pub, so there was all fellas in there. And I was getting good opportunities. Like my first job was a trainee civil engineer, then I was a trainee joiner, trainee this, and I failed at them all. And I was like, fucking hell, am I a loser, do you know what I mean? The reason was, I'm only going to show interest in what I enjoy. Yeah. So then I thought, I fancy barbering. I remember the girl I was with at the time. I was only about 19. She went, you don't be fucking barber. So I think she felt ashamed that I was going to become a barber. Yeah. No, everyone's a fucking barber. Yeah. But anyway, we split up and I asked that, I'm going to be a barber. And I loved it, absolutely loved it. And I had a goal. When I worked on Breck Road in a barber's called Jack's for a year with Ralph. And I worked there. And then I wanted to move around. I was quite happy there, but I wanted to move around and learn as much as I could. And then eventually, about 4 years into being a barber, I opened my own shop sweeps. So that was that. And about a year into opening my shop, I loved it. I loved it. My shop, I was a perfectionist, Bill. Absolute perfectionist. And I was dedicated to it. And like a year or 2 years into having the shop, this fella used to come in and go, oh, do acting lessons, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I'm busy, I'm into this, you know what I mean? But anyway, he signed me up to this class. And I was like, fucking hell, mate. And then I ended up going to acting classes and then sort of went from there. But since then, I've sort of, I've done like 30 commercials now, which is a lot. A lot of actors will agree. Getting 30 commercials is quite because they're hard to get, because so many people go for them. But I just go up and just be myself, and that gets me the job half the time. But yeah, loads of commercials, loads of like done loads of bit parts in films, comedies, and whatever, and all that.
I think you're a bit like me as coming to when we talk about like being extreme. It's either all or nothing. Yeah. And this is the title of my podcast. It's all or nothing, and it always has been with me, John.
Yeah.
I'm an extremist.
There's only two switches.
Yeah. Up, boom, and I want it, and I chase it, and I get it, and then I think, that's not what I wanted. I'll move on to something else. Do you feel that's part of what you do in your life?
100%. And this is, like, because I've done a few podcasts now, and I'm like, which is great, and I'm honoured that people are asking me to come on, that they think I'm interested enough to do it, but I'm repeating the same thing, so maybe put a bit of a different spin on this one, really. Anything and I'm proud of this, and I'm grateful that I've got this thing, but I seem to have this thing called hyperfocus. So hyperfocus is when, and there's nothing wrong with hyperfocus as well. So if people seem to think, oh, you're dead fatty, you, or whatever. If someone's fatty, they're fatty. Yeah. So what? It's none of your business. And it's like, so I'm not going to say I'll fixate on something. Yeah, I suppose I do. But I can't just pick something. Something will interest me, or I'll be intrigued by something, or I'll be inspired by something. Like barbering. I went as far as I could go. Well, I had an image in my mind. And I believe achieved that about 3-4 years ago. I was in the barbers. It was Christmas Eve. It was chocker. We just finished, and I had my coffee shop, was chocker. And that was I burst out crying. That was the moment. I achieved the vision I had
19, 20 years ago.
It was 15 years before, And, and then that's just the way I am. And like, I done a men's physique competition. I used to be really, really fat. I was about 17.5 stone. So I said I want to do a men's physique competition, and I done it. I got an award off the organisers.
Seen you in the echo, John. Couldn't believe it.
They said they've never seen a transformation like it. No. So when I focus on something, that's it. Yeah. I went to my mum and dad's grave once, and there was this lad walking past. This proper scally walking past with a hawk. I was like, what the fuck? So that was it. It was like a little spark moment. I went home and learned everything about hawks. A few months later, I had a Harris hawk, and I was flying through the woods. I had them follow me through the woods and hunting with them and stuff. I never hunted with it, to be honest. I used to fly. I went that into the hunting.
Do you believe that can be like sort of detrimental as well to your well-being? Because I feel, John, right, it's when I'm focused on something, I've got a one-track mind, I've got the blinkers on, and it's all or nothing in that area, then I'm missing out on everything else.
I've not been diagnosed, but I'm pretty convinced I've got ADHD, and I wouldn't take it away. If you look at the most inspirational people in the world, like Einstein and bloody, all these musicians years ago, and entrepreneurs, they've all got these traits. Like look at Beckham, look at Suarez, look at Messi. They've all got this little edge to them, haven't they? Yeah. Because they're all on the spectrum. I don't know if ADHD is on the spectrum, but these are the people. They don't even, they don't think out the box. They don't even realise there is a box. Yeah. These are the creative thinkers, and these are the people that do wonderful things, but they do suffer, Bill. Because what happens is when you hyper-focus on something, you struggle to find balance in your life. So you might have smashed the barbers. We won one year. We won best barbers in the city out of loads. So I'm like, sounds, I've done that. I've made that happen. But then once you achieve your goal or whatever, there's other things in your life that might suffer. Whether it's relationships, whether it's something else that you got on the go. But in time, like I'm 40 next year, and I have been through the mill, and I've had to learn. we've spoke to you about this quite a lot. I've had to learn a lot to sort of cope, how to live my life and to balance my life. Because I used to live in pain. I used to have bad anxiety to the point where it was physical pain. And like, so you have to learn to cope, and you have to learn. But I'm thinking, I'm saying I'm going to live till 80. This is my plan. I'm going to live till 80. I am. It's a given. I'm going to live till 80, and it's took me till 40 to really figure out what's important, how to, because some people are fine, but some people don't have these things that maybe I have, maybe you have. So it's took me that time to learn to cope. So I've got the rest of my life, and I've learned a lot, and I can deal with it.
Over the years since I've known you, what I respect is that, you know, your honesty and your openness. Even when you're speaking to me on the phone or anything like that, it's like you're transparent. It's transparent. Yeah, and you're authentic. But and what I've noticed is how vulnerable you are, right? Because I'm vulnerable, and it's an attraction. You know, like men. Yeah. You know what you see outside. It's like the bigger picture is like, you know, you know everything's successful, John. You've got a barber shop. You know, thousands of followers. Everything's great. Social media platforms on fire. You've got a little cliche. How are we? It's yours. Can't take that away from you. Take all that. But then there's John. Yeah. It's like similar to myself. Everything you could ever dream, you know, you could wish for and want. Take that away. There's me. I'm still that lost kid. I'm still that vulnerable child who still wants, or still feels the need to be needed or wanted. You know what I mean? Is that something that?
Well, that's what I was going back to what I was saying about the thing till I'm 40. Yeah. I think we've got to figure all these things out. We've got to figure out what's important. It's like we have certain holes in ourselves, Bill, and we try to fill them with the wrong things, I think, sometimes. Yeah, so you've got to learn to fill them with yourself. It's
a vacuum, innit? Yeah. You know, see, for me, John, it was like I was trying to fix myself on clothes, outside things. It was relationships. It's got to be, this is the one. Yeah. This is definitely the one. But it was always the one. No, it was never the one. Yeah. You know, no matter how much money I had,
I think we pick impossible relationships, Bill. It's almost like a self-harm. Yeah. I think we pick relationships that don't work.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Which is sad. But it's,
you know, I've for years I've had to learn, and I like what you said there. You have to learn. You know, life is an experience. Yeah. Right. It's like a journey of like experiences, and then you come to a point where, you know, I've been in that many toxic relationships, that many failed relationships. I've settled for less. I've settled for crumbs. I've left myself on bricks. You know what I mean? I've to a point where I've been codependent. I've been needy. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Yeah. You know what I mean? My mate used to say to me, "What's up with you?" I don't know, because I didn't know. You know what I mean? You know, and I think that you'd have to go through those experiences, come out the other side to learn from it. Yeah. Some people just don't. Some people.
No. Some people don't even have to. Some people are fortunate enough.
Some people don't.
Just go through life like that.
And they meet the soulmate.
But you know what? I wouldn't want to live my life like that. No. I'm grateful the way mine is. Yeah. Because I'm learning all these things as I go through. And that's a journey and it's a little adventure. But I've got 3 little girls there. And they're going to get older. Yeah. So I'm going to be very, very well equipped to give them the advice they need. And I've had to go through that pain for them. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It is what it is.
So you go to bed at night, John, because I know I do at the best of times, and my head doesn't switch off. It's there's thoughts that are intrusive that come through the back door of my head.
Well, if I have, and that's probably ADHD. Yeah. Your mind just runs. It's just a million miles an hour all the time. But you learn. So what I've learned is like, okay, so say you message me. Unless I message you straight back or phone you straight back, it's gone. Yeah. And a lot of people can take that personal. Yeah. So there's just another skill I've learned. I've got to message these people straight back. Because there'll be loads of messages where I might have went, I'll get back to them. Gone. Yeah. But and then don't take it personal. It's just the way I am.
You start building up resentments because you
no, but I'm just saying, it's just these little, what was our point? It's just your mind going a million miles an hour. And I've learned I can only do one thing at once. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
You know what, John? I think you're just
I am a bit mad.
Yeah, but that's that just, you know.
But I wouldn't change it for the world.
No, and that's the same. I'm comfortable with my own insanity. You know what I mean? I know I'm insane, but I'm comfortable with it.
You're talking about transparency, right? It's like you got people who put up these facades, and you got these people who want to impress the boys, or you go and impress these there, and you want to look this, you want to like that. Don't look weak, don't look vulnerable, don't look blah, 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 blah. Sound, that's hard work. That's acting. You're putting an act up all the fucking time. That's going to take a lot of energy. If I'm transparent and honest, no one has got nothing on me.
Yeah.
Because what you see is what you get. So no one can call you. And if you do call someone who's honest or transparent, I don't know. Just you've got your own fucking issues. Because if that man's bearing his soul and he's being honest with you, and you can criticise him, or you try to... Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
So I believe just be transparent, and no one's ever got nothing on you. You are what you are.
And I agree, because for me, I remember when I wanted to write my life story when I was 25.
Yeah.
And I was lying on this bottom bunk in a prison in Stafford. I had this Irish kid called Terry Jenkins on the top bunk. And I told him, I said, I'm going to write a book about my life. And he popped his head over the bunk. And what are you going to write about, you fucking idiot? You fucking smackhead. You're fucking not but go to prison and take drugs. I was 25, John. And I looked and it killed me dream, right? And if I, at that time, would have written something, it probably would have been invented. A story would have been created through ego. But it's, you know, and then years later, I wrote one and it was more about being honest and being open about, you know, I did have fears, you know, I did have like, I was scared. I did go into shells and act hard and pretend and put a mask on. But when I sat down on my own, I was sobbing. You know, to tell people that stuff.
Did you find that draining that you put up?
Yeah, it was like trying to cope. You know, I had my ear bit off when I was a young kid. I had this look where, you know, I looked like I was tough and it'd probably keep you away. But it kept everybody away as well. I was like a ball of barbed wire. And I was left to my own device. I was left really on my own.
So you're protecting yourself more?
Yeah, I was protecting myself more. So, you know, have you ever felt that you've gone down that road where you've had to... Do you think your humour masks a lot of stuff as well? Because I don't mind it.
Well, like as a defence mechanism?
Yeah.
No, not anymore. It might have done years ago. Because like if I meet someone for the first time, I might have done like accents or something as a... This is what I'm on about. You learn.
You learn, yeah.
So but I might have done accents as a coping mechanism to speak to people. I don't do that now. I stare them dead in the eye. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But might have avoided... But that was defence. Because I didn't have the confidence or the self-esteem to do it. But now I'm staring right in your soul, Billy. And
I like it, so. I do. I like your confidence, John, and I think as a tutor as well, when I was a student in the acting classes, it was quite exciting, you know, to the feedback, and you weren't like throwing babies on the feedback, you were telling the truth, and
but I went a bell into it. I was
honest.
No.
But you were just really good at what you are good at what you do, John. You know what I mean? What are your hopes, mate? Seriously, you know, for the future and stuff. What are your plans? I know you've got this.
Yeah. It's, you know what? It's like I want something that springs me out of bed in the morning, Bill.
Yeah.
I want something that excites me.
Will that be enough?
Yeah, let me tell you a story, right? Let me tell you a story. It only come to me. I remember when I was a little boy. I was about 4.
Yeah.
But I must have been 5. The dates don't match up. But I must have been 5, and I remember I was saying this to my mate only the other day. I remember drawing this picture. I used to draw when I was a kid, and it had these 4 characters in it, and they had tellies for heads, and they were robots, and they lived on a spaceship, but they were like TV something. I can't remember, like TV aliens or something like that or something. And I've done this thing, and I created. But thinking back, when I was an adult, like I created this TV program, this idea, and I remember saying to my mum before school, must have been 5. I said, "Mum, will you take this to place? Will you take it to place and give it to the people?" Do you know what I mean? And she was like, yeah. And she put it in a bag. When I finished school, fucking first thing I done was ran over to a bag and pulled it out when you never took it. Fuming, right? Whatever. And then you start to get older. But what now? I want my own TV show, Bill. I want to create it. There's no reason why I can't. There's no reason why I can't. I'm just a human being like Peter Kay or Steve Coogan or Kai Van Novak. Same. I'm the same. So there's no reason why I can't do it. So that's what I want to do. But my point about telling you that story was, that was my instinct as a kid to want to do that. And then all shit happened there. And I've caught back up to where I was when I was a kid. So that was my That was my little passion then. So maybe it's always been my passion. So that's what I want to do. I want to be creative. I get a buzz out of it. I get a buzz out of making people laugh. I get a buzz out of having a vision in my mind and making it happen. And when it happens, I go, yes, I get a buzz out of that. And that's what life's about.
What do you think of being the biggest hurdles though, John? You know, in your life, what have sort of set you back and made you think, fucking hell, you know, what is it, John?
I don't know, as I said.
Relationships, should they?
No, it depends what you mean, but it's like, I like to think of, like I used to run marathons, Bill. I used to be dead fat. I ran a marathon, it took me 5.5 hours. I thought I was coming last. I remember looking back thinking, it took me 5.5 hours. A year and a half later, I finished 98th in the Blackpool Marathon out of thousands of people. Do you know what I mean? I'd done well. I finished in the top 100. So it's one of them. Everything I do choose, I go as far as I feel like, okay, I've done that. But hurdles wise, just the behaviour, just the anxiety. But anxiety come from, I'll tell you a story. So when I started barbering, I had a goal. And I knew what my goal was. It was this, blah, blah, blah. I was having Sweeps barbershop nationwide, right? That's what I wanted to do. And I would have fucking done it. But, like, what was it? After 7 months of opening my shop, which I was so passionate about, my mum died. I had a day off work, and I went straight back in. What was the point in fucking moaning, Bill? What was the point in moping around? Fucking chin up, crack on, right? Worst fucking thing I could have done. Because that sort of changed. Dynamics in my life completely changed. And I never grieved for my mum when she initially died. And that absolutely caused havoc with my life. I'd saved loads of money. I'd never had money before. I was earning £200 a week. Suddenly I was on a lot more and I was saving it. So I went out and fucking spent it. And I didn't stop. I never stopped. Your mum's gone. So I started looking at the baby's mum to sort of take that mantle, and she weren't fulfilling it. Yeah. So that affected our relationship. That went to pot. We had a really bad time there. I mean, she's one of me. She's not even friends. She's fucking family now. Do you know what I mean? She's probably I'd regard as my next to kin. She's the mother of my kids. We're not together, but we're very, very close. But yeah, so it all thingied there. But while I was with the baby's mum, we probably stayed in there a good 7 years longer than what we should have done. Yeah. So through there, I was living a life I didn't want. Just everything was up the fucking wall. But I suffered big time of anxiety, like physical. But it was about control. I had the dog groomers at the time, which was flying. I had my barbers, and I was balancing this relationship. And I'd done my acting as well. It just got all a bit overwhelming for me.
Have you ever got to a point where you just feel, well, you know, I just want to end it? You know what I mean?
Suicide? Yeah. I haven't, no. Well, I haven't, no. Well, yeah, I suppose. Like, I suppose you get to a point where the anxiety, and you think, well, I tell you, the worst time is when you build everything back up and you get into one of these shit relationships, impossible relationships, and you have to start again. Because then you've got to think, oh, I've got to do it all fucking again. And that can be quite daunting. But no, I've been in a lot of pain. Yeah. But I've never had the desire to want to do it, which is great. But I understand why people do it.
Yeah, people don't do, you know, a lot of people must think, people have to be brave. It's not, you've got to be out of your mind. You've got
to end your life?
Yeah.
What people don't understand, right? You know, if someone's got cancer and they want to go to, is it Switzerland to get euthanasia? Yeah. People will go, if that man wants to die, let him go and die, because he's in pain, that's his choice. So when someone's suffering from mental health, they're in that much pain, they've tried not to kill themselves. They're in that much pain, like the person, am I out of order what I'm saying here?
No.
Like the person, they're in pain, they can't cope. They can't fucking cope, and they just want the pain to end. But I just don't understand why these people can be applauded, and these people get called selfish, and they say you pass the pain on to someone else, and which, yeah, I know, and everyone else does suffer, but they call them selfish. They left kids there. They're in fucking pain. Yeah. They can't cope. They've tried to cope. They've tried not to kill themselves, so they must be in a lot of pain to do it.
And it's a lot of acceptance around, like, moving on.
Yeah, but things aren't as daunting as what you think. They aren't, and it's alright me saying that, isn't it? No, because you can be in that really low place, Bill, but a year down the line, everything could be changing. Everything could be magnificent.
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, that's what I believe. It's like, I just, I don't know, people call people who kill themselves selfish, and I think that's fucking bang out of order. If anything, I think it's selfish of you to call them selfish.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I feel we're really blessed with a few short decades, in a sense.
Yeah,
you know,
like segments.
Yeah,
like if you live till 80, you've got 10 year stints.
And it is what it is. You know, it's life on life terms can be difficult at the best of times. You know what I mean? I know I've experienced tough times and austerity, and it's been barbaric in some areas, and I put myself in those positions, you know what I mean? And I've got myself out of those as well.
Yeah.
There's been times where I felt like it's enough's enough, you know, I can't cope. I haven't got the courage to kill myself. I can't face the day, I can't face living on.
You haven't got the courage to kill yourself?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was courage.
Well, I'd say no, yeah. I haven't got the balls, in a sense. I just think it's like limbo for me when I'm in that low point.
Okay.
And I've been in that position, but like you said it earlier on, we learn through like experience, and now it's like I'm really grateful down that line that I'm still here.
Yeah.
And that my life's changed, because if you'd have looked at me 5 years ago, even 3 years ago, John, you know what I mean, it was like I was finished. 3 years later, I'm in a loving relationship and I've got a beautiful baby boy. That was never on the cards. It was beyond, that is beyond my wildest dreams, John.
I've spoke to you, and what I get from you is that you've learned it's all being reinforced.
Yeah.
I think you, like me, you probably made a lot of mistakes over and over and over again, to the point where it's like, right, okay, it's like a cow on an electric fence. They only do it once or twice, and they won't go near it again. Same thing, but I think you like me saying, by the time I get to 40, I'll have it all, I think. But as I get older, there'll be new sets of problems, but I'll be well equipped. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And when you say well equipped,
the hard way.
Yeah, well, when you say well equipped, I know to go back 10 years ago, right, and I started that journey of like failed relationships, doomed fucking living way of life. If I had never went through those, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Exactly.
And I wouldn't have been. And now it's like, yeah, whatever.
Billy, I don't really want to speak about, but I was in a relationship last year, and it was shit, really bad. And I'm grateful for every little last drop of it. I'm grateful for everything bad that's happened to me. I really, really am. Yeah. Because I'm better off than the person who I was before.
Exactly.
I'm wiser, and that equips you. You know what I mean?
Do you think it's important as well when you're going through tough times, John? While we're on this topic, is to reach out and speak to people.
Yeah, but be careful who you speak to, though.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people find it draining. They don't get it.
Yeah.
There's only, I'm sorry, but this is what I think. You know, and you just be careful who you speak to. But speak to people. I'll say what I think. Just
say what you think, John.
People who just don't get it, and you've never been through it, and they tell you to chin up, or they say, get a grip, go to man up. It doesn't work, because you can tell yourself that. But pick like, because last year, as about time I opened up to you, and that sparked something in me, just speaking to you. Do you know what I mean? That set me on a better path again. But then I might just, you know, I remember there was a time when it was really bad, and I remember speaking to someone, and I know it didn't say it, sometimes I feel like doing myself in, which I did. Well, did I? I must have done at the time, because I fucking said it. Yeah. But he says to me, well, if you do that, I won't go to your funeral. That's the fucking last thing I want to fucking hear. I'm trying to open up to this person here, and he's just fucking slapping you with that fucking stupid comment. Well, so that's why I say, be careful who you speak to. Yeah, well,
same like with me, like my family, their answer.
I'm sorry, Bill, and another thing as well, people aren't equipped as well to give mental health advice. It's nice to open up to people, but if you are concerned, go and see a therapist, because they are equipped to do it. And like, if you're going to speak to some fella in a pub whose fucking life's up the wall, he can't give you advice. This is what I think, Bill.
Well, sick people can't help sick people, can
they? Well, no, and it's like, yeah, it's another thing with therapy. I started therapy after my mum died. Best thing I ever could have done. It's not, let's not call it therapy, let's call it guidance, right? So you go to the gym, you're a coach in the gym, and some fella's just started for the first time, hasn't got a PT, hasn't got a coach, and you're watching him going around the gym, doing everything wrong, but he learns eventually, but by making all the mistakes, right? So if you'd have went to a coach straight away, he could have learnt all them pretty easily and got, you know, and saved a lot of time. It's the same with going to a fucking a therapist. Because if you go to a therapist, a problem that might take you 10 years to figure out, you might get it figured out in a couple of months because you're getting the right guidance. So if you are feeling down or you want to speak to someone, I highly recommend a therapist.
So, do you think training, John, helps you as well? Going to the gym, dieting? Was that another extreme?
Diet with me?
Yeah.
Well, the diet's important, isn't it? Because diet makes you feel better. Like I put weight on over lockdown, the weight on over lockdown, and I feel a bit. So when if I'm eating better, I feel better. If I'm looking better, I feel even better.
Definitely, man.
So right now I don't feel like my fucking best, but I'm still alright. You know what I mean?
But I'm the same, John. My biggest enemy at the moment is the fridge at 3 o'clock in the morning, right? And it's like I just find myself in the kitchen eating shite, and then I feel shit. And I train hard as well, John. Every single day I train. I think the older I get, the fucking fatter I'm becoming. The sugar sticks to me like there's no tomorrow, and it's just harder to let go. You know what I mean? And that's probably what you'd call a luxury problem compared to some of the problems I've had in the past with drugs and crime and prisons and institutions. You've got this little bit of... So it's one thing
so there's
to
a
another.
new set of problems as you get older.
Yeah, it's a new set. Yeah, exactly. So it's a new... I've had that, prisons, institutions, I've been in hospitals and whatever. It's been fucking horrendous. Get me shit together. And then I'm fighting to fucking get a balance around weight and eating and training. I love training. I love it like there's no tomorrow. I couldn't live without it at the minute. But I also love food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I've tried all these intermittent fasting diets, and I've tried other things, and I just can't fucking stay to them.
You fucking can't. It's just consistency.
Yeah.
It says me, but I am struggling myself. It is consistency though. But it's what you tell yourself as well.
Well, you were doing well before lockdown. You had a little video library going on, didn't you?
Flying, yeah.
Like wasn't it like day 1, day 2, cracking
on?
This is what you were doing.
I've done like a YouTube channel, the John May way. So I put weight back on last year. I lost 5 stone. I've done a men's physique competition. I slowly creep back up, falling into the bad habits. And I thought, right, I'm going to do it again. So I started a YouTube channel, and I've done a video diary every day where I spoke about mental health, and I spoke about challenges I've had in my life, and I spoke about how I've learnt, and every day I sort of done a different thing, but I was just dead transparent, and that was therapeutic for me as well. But my idea behind that was, I was doing it for accountability, but because I'd put myself out there, I had to follow it through, and I used that as a tool to get the job done. Yeah. What my idea was
was that sort of like you're setting yourself up to fail?
Yeah. No, I'm not setting up to fail.
No, but in a sense of like I've got an audience now.
100%, yeah. Yeah, I've done it. I put that in place so I didn't fail.
Well, that's a good idea.
Well, that's what you learn. Do you know what I mean? I do that. And I was following it through. Yeah. And I was. So I went from but the idea behind this also, I wanted to inspire people, Bill, because people were watching it and people were like, oh, well, I'm jumping on now. I wanted to take a man who was in a rut. When I spoke to you last year, I was in a rut, and I'll speak about on the videos as well. I was in a rut, and I want to show a man in a rut can change his life, and it never worked out that way. But I did have abs. I was fat in January. I had abs in the end of March. Like I was looking all right.
Well, then, you know what, Charlie?
Lockdown come, and I started putting wigs on.
Well, when you're talking about being inspired, you know that kind of inspired me as well.
Did you watch them?
I did, yeah, and it inspired me to change my diet, and I did, and I lost almost a stone during lockdown. I didn't put weight on during lockdown. I lost it because I knew there wasn't much to do at the gym because they weren't open. And as soon as the lockdown was lifted, I was back on.
Well, do you know what?
The restaurants were open.
I done alright during the lockdown. I didn't really put that much weight on. It wasn't until I went back to work in July That's when I started putting weight back on.
Yeah, same.
Routine had changed, dynamics had
Definitely,
changed.
yeah. I was into a nice little routine. Getting prepared for a lot of life-changing things at the time, ready for the new baby to come along. Wanted to be strong, healthy, fit. I was walking regular.
You know, you said about exercise, because when you said exercise, first thing I think is weight training. Yeah. But weight training doesn't necessarily make me feel amazing. No. It doesn't. No. When I used to run, I used to go on a 20-mile run on a Sunday morning, mate, and I'd finish, and that'd make me feel good.
The natural body endorphins.
Salt on me. And when you run, you give off a certain smell. Yeah. But that used to make me feel satisfied. Walking it is so good. Yeah. Walking just changes everything.
It does, yeah. I used to take the dog for a walk every single day. It's probably missing it now. I mean, sometimes twice a day just to get out the house. Yeah. During that, like,
walking. If anyone is suffering, like, honestly, God, just start walking. Do 20 minutes a day. That's it. And just wake up to 40.
So what is an average day for you then? Now? What is it? Just like, what an average week?
I don't know, Bill. I just a leaf in the wind, me, mate. I'm just blowing. Just like that. I don't know, whatever. I've got the barbers, haven't I? I don't cut hair anymore.
You've got all these characters, haven't you? Like that are coming out now. There's Kenny and there's Turkey Teeth and there's the Derek as well.
Derek, Craig. Got Craig. The one with the glasses.
Is he the one who was in Ghetto Golf yesterday? Yes. On that little clip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the new episode coming out where Craig goes on a date.
So are these all related to Kenny? In a sense of, like, is it one or
how it started?
It's yeah.
I done it. It was lockdown had just starting, and all these. I noticed like everyone was like running around for toilet rolls, doing this, blah blah blah. Got this, getting this. You know, Chicago town pizzas filling the freezer up and all that. And it reminds me of Christmas. Yeah. And like I remember, I was thought like, there's going to be a baby boom and everyone's going to fucking call it Kid Corona. Yeah. And I just done this little sketch saying that, and then I done another one with these two women as if they're in Iceland, going, you're all ready, you're all done for lockdown, eh? And all that, I've already got to get a few bits. And like, and it was funny, and then everyone laughed and got a response, and then I done another one, and then we'd just gone into lockdown, so people go, do another one. Yeah. And then one day I walked into the barbers, I was looking for something while on lockdown, and me and my mates were going to do a sketch a couple of years ago, and I bought these Scouser wigs, and I opened this drawer and I went, no way, Karen's getting a fella, and that's where the Kenny Corona come from. Mm-hmm. So then it was just become like a family a couple on lockdown. But he was banging his bird's best mate on the slide, Karen, Kirsty, who was also played by me. And then Derek used to come in, his little mate used to like sort him out. So Derek used to come in, and then Kenny went missing. And then we done a Sky News report, and that's where they introduced Craig, who's Karen's brother, again played by me. And then we had Superintendent Furlow, he's the copper, he was on the campaign looking for them. And then people started printing it was missing Kenny Corona. People started printing the posters off and putting them in the windows, and you would see them randomly around Liverpool. Like, I got a t-shirt made, and everyone wants a t-shirt. Yeah. And then we ended it, we done a big massive rescue. But I also won an International Film Award doing that as well.
Yeah,
in lockdown.
Tell me about that. That was incredible, John.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I come first out of 800 people.
How did you manage? What did you have to do to come first? But because obviously you're not going on any.
You'd have to put it on the website and people voted type of thing. But 800 people. I come first, and I got 3 times as many votes as the person who comes second.
Brilliant.
That's quite a lot.
So what did you get for that? Like,
I won money, and I can say on podcast that I've won an International Film Award.
Brilliant. So that's another trophy in the cabinet.
Yeah, it's good. It was made up. This character, boss.
He just come out of nowhere, didn't he?
Yeah.
We
ended it with the rescue.
So is he finished that series now with it? Well,
that was Corona Mums. Now we're doing who's Derek.
Yeah.
So it's about Derek and Craig. So Craig's following Derek now with a camera. Yeah. Who's your local, friendly, local neighbourhood drug dealer. Yeah. But you can't help but like him. But you never see him.
Is that well received? Is it similar to, or is it?
Yeah, about the same.
Is it?
It's just the same characters, but a different story now. So, Dan, this is where we introduced Turkey Teeth.
Oh yeah.
How are we? I don't know what I mean. No, yeah. It doesn't work out the teeth. But yeah, so we introduced Turkey Teeth. Who else? Kenny's daughter coming to an Alexa. And the next one is a mock Undateables episode. So this is 25 minutes long.
Yeah.
Put a lot of work into this one.
Oh, brilliant, John. It's how creative you are, mate. And you know what? It's you know, people, you know, I've heard, you know, you see it on WhatsApp messages, on groups, on Facebook, on Twitter. It's all over the gaff, and you know, people are there talking about it, and it's putting smiles.
Well, it was mad. I went to that protest yesterday. Yeah. And it's the first time I've been, because I don't really go out or nothing like that. I don't go out for drinking that much, and if I do, I just go local. And it's the first time I've been in like a space where there's a lot of people. Yeah. And it was mad. Everyone knew who it was. Yeah. Which is like, and I was with my mate Lisa. I was like, Lisa, that's fucking mad. It's like everyone knew it was mad, Bill. It's just, but isn't it amazing? Like I was saying this about being an actor. Yeah. So I've been an actor, what, 13 years? I don't know. But it's like I'm there at every audition. I'm there with knobs on, boom, 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 boom. And it's cost me a bomb. I don't get me wrong, you know, I have travelled the world doing it, and I've made up with that. Done loads of adverts and stuff, but I've never had that break. And it's like, because it's always down to someone else's decision. So I'm always there with knobs in, trying to impress them. Yeah, John's good, John's a safe bet, blah, blah, blah. And I could go on my whole life not getting that break and just doing the little bit jobs, you know what I mean? And like I spoke to my mate last year, Dan, the casting director, and he said, you ideally, John, carve your own path. So that's when I wrote that short film, Just, which I'm quite proud of. But then the Kenny Corona thing sort of just happened. That wasn't the direction I wanted to go down. But I've made something myself, and to the point where I haven't had to rely on a network or something. Yeah. I'm creating my own stuff, and it's getting the same response as if it was on a network. So that's me getting a response. So therefore, hopefully I might be able to move to the next level.
Is there anyone that approached you?
Yeah, someone's been in touch, so we're just sort of waiting. Just put all that together, we're just waiting to...
It'd be out of the mind not to take it further, because look, have you seen all, you know, these cheesy fucking reality shows, John, that it's just a waste of money, really, you know what I mean, and a waste of time. But, so, something like what you're doing...
I hope so.
Yeah.
Because yesterday, as I say, everyone had lovely things to say, everyone, you know, and everyone liked it, and everyone was positive, so... You know, I must be doing something right. And I just go back and build on it and reinforce it even more. To a point where it is a no-brainer. Yeah. Where they're like, oh, we'll have to get this on the telly. Everyone seems to like it, hopefully.
That'll keep you busy, like, won't it?
I'll keep going till I get it. That's what I'm fixated on now, Bill. And I won't stop till I get it.
Yeah, The Extremist. Yeah. That's what I hope my hair looks alright. I've been to your barbers the other day. Sweet. Tracy, cut my hair. I've been there for years. I met John the first time I met you. It was on a tag. Yeah. You know, and it took me probably 2 years to come off that tag before I could even leave the house. You know what I mean? And
I remember.
And I think by turning up week in, week out, and doing the right thing with my life, that people see the change. You know, and people say, well, yeah, he's not the mistake that he used to be. You know what I mean? It's and that's what we do, John. We just move forward.
Yeah, it's just a journey. Yeah. But you learn things. It's control as well, but I think that's where I used to suffer, was control. I wanted control of businesses. I wanted control of this. I wanted control, which you should have. I understand that, but not to the point where it makes you sick. No. So it's like, so I've learned now. I don't worry about. I'm pretty laid back nowadays. Yeah. I'm a bit edgy and a bit scatty. I can, you know. But
what's your favourite movie?
The Exorcist.
Brilliant. 1979, is that one?
Don't know. The proper one, like Linda Blair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frightening.
That's the ADHD in you there.
What's your favourite comedy?
I love Peter Kay.
Do you?
Well, don't really like the later stuff he's done, but Felix Knight and a stand-up, brilliant. He's the best.
So if you had anything positive to say to everyone, John, at the end of this, what is it that you... Any pearls of wisdom, anything? Because this is a big one, isn't it? What can you tell the people out there? I don't know.
Just, it depends I don't know, if we're talking about mental health and we're talking about suffering and we're talking about things like that, if you worry, you suffer twice.
Yeah.
So what's the point? It's like, okay, think of it as like, it's that song, here's a little song I wrote, and it goes, what is it? No, don't worry, be happy. And it goes, here in life we all have trouble. If you worry, you make it double. Don't worry. No, but it's like that. So it's like, that's what I've learned. I used to worry about things when what was the fucking point? Just wasted energy. But it's like, if life's a path and there's a branch in the road, deal with the branch. Don't worry about it. If there's going to be any branches in the road, just enjoy the fucking journey. That was my problem.
Do you ever, are you a bit of a conspiracy theorist? Do you think? I find myself being a little bit of a conspiracy theorist during this pandemic.
When I was younger, when I'm like in my early 20s, I used to be like, get on this, World Trade Center and all. I used to be obsessed with religions. And then what I found was I'd tell people and they just thought I was mad, or they just wouldn't listen, so I stopped telling people. And do you know what I mean? I stopped telling them. I stopped trying to convince them because they weren't listening to me. So I just took it on board myself.
Have you ever had any experiences that you can't explain, John? Like seriously, like.
I've got a very long-winded one, but I don't think we've got the time.
Is it that?
What, like paranormal things?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have you got a quick one? And I'll identify with you.
As a woman, I think it might have been a night terror though. I don't know. Right, there was a woman. Right, I fell asleep on my couch. Right, like that. I was a bit exhausted. This is when I was splitting with the baby's mum. This goes on forever. We had psychics turning up at the house and everything. You could do a whole episode on this. God's honest truth. But I might have been going around the bend. But there was I fell asleep on a couch like this. And then I opened my eyes and there was a woman hovering over me. No words of a lie. Like this flowy dress, right? And I was like, she had no face. But I didn't feel scared. Like I've had a night terror before. Yeah. And night terrors are fucking petrified. I didn't see none of my night terrors, but there was a woman hovering over my bed. I might have been dreaming. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so she goes to touch my face like this, Bill, like this. And I suppose there, push it away. And then she just evaporates. Anyway, so I weren't scared. So the next morning I got up and I was like, who? And then I googled. She had like a cross there. So Google 1920s nurses uniforms. And I was like, that's it. That's what she had on. Anyway, it wasn't till like a few days later I went, where I lived in Walton Hospital. I lived Vale Lodge, it's called. Yeah. And that was an old nurse's accommodation for the old Walton Hospital. But yeah, the nurse come and see me in my sleep.
Yeah. I had an experience, John, right? I don't really share this much, but I was about 8 years old and my mum was going over the road for a cup of tea with a friend who used to go over, leave you in the front room. And I remember watching it, there was a comedy on the telly, you know, one of them happy campers ones, what was he called?
Carry
On movies. And I remember Howard, what's his name, Frankie Howard.
Oh, Frankie Howard, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember him as a character in it, and I'm sitting there watching the TV, and then all of a sudden, right, the curtains in the front room started to close by themselves. There was no one in there, John, just me, and he started to close. I'm on my own, frightening the life out of me. And I'm upstairs, shaking our kid, get up, the curtains are closing. He just curls with the ball and comes down there. And when my mum come in, I told her, I said, Mum, I was scared, John. They were open again when I went back downstairs.
Wow.
And I said to me, Ma, the curtains closed on the room. And she just looked at me dead calmly and went, it's okay, son, that was your grandma. And she'd only passed away a week before. And what she was saying to me, my mum, was that she shouldn't have went out the house because it was dark. Anyone walking past would have looked in and seen a kid on his own, right, at that time.
Yeah.
So she was protecting me. But like, fucking hell, frightening the life out of me, you know what I mean? That was the only kind, and that, I don't think if...
I've had a time when I thought, like, when a dead person I spoke to was my mum, right? There was a time, it was a bit of a bad time. Yeah. But I had an iPad and I was a bit frustrated and I threw it across the room. And, well, I never threw it across the room, I threw it on the couch on the other side. And it's like, what, about 10 seconds passed. and it was Everybody Hurts Sometimes by what are they called? Who's that band? Everybody. They sing Losing My Religion. Rapid Eye Movement, R.E.M.
R.E.M.
And I was sat there and I was like, it wasn't on my iPad. It was come up on YouTube on my iPad. It didn't have it on my iPad. I went on YouTube, but nowhere near that song, and it was playing after about 10 seconds. And that was my mum's funeral song. I remember thinking, wow. So I packed up my troubles in an old kit bag and I smiled.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I thought, yeah, that's my mother.
We live in a strange world, don't we? Loads of mysterious little things going on.
Yeah, but you see me going on about mental health here, and me talking about like my problems that I've had or whatever and stuff like that. That doesn't make me any different from anyone else, Bill.
No.
The only difference with me and maybe Billy and a few other people is that we're honest about it and we're transparent.
Yeah.
And if someone says they don't suffer to some extent, or they have never suffered,
No.
I think everyone has.
Yeah, definitely.
I think a lot of men keep it suppressed. A lot of men don't feel like a man. I think a man who's willing to fucking show his ass and bare his soul is more of a man.
Yeah.
In my opinion. You know,
well, that's 100%. Yeah, 100%.
It doesn't make you. So yeah, just about being transparent, honest.
I think on that, John, transparency, it's been a pleasure to have you on.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, mate. I'll leave it at that.
Fist me.
Hello, guys. If you've enjoyed this podcast, then subscribe here. Follow me on all social media platforms here. And my guests are here. Thank you.